No, I haven't been seal clubbing down in tier 5. I've been playing my ships for the Zhao Bureau project in standard matches, and boy oh boy, I had 2 great games today in the Hatsuharu, one which was so very, very close, and then another one where we actually picked ourselves up a Kraken. But the first match and then the second match were both new personal records for myself, both for damage and base XP. But I didn't want to give you 2 videos, so I thought I'd quickly roll through the first game, because in itself it was an absolute stonker. We started off on the flank trying to push this hard push down with this Renown. He's already taken torpedoes from us. We know there's a destroyer down there. We bang some guns out trying to bait the destroyer into a fire, and we get a fire on the Renown. We pop our smoke, double fired now, and he is going to tick out, and we know where the destroyer is. So coming round on the corner, we did take some damage off him. We put some more fire onto him, and even though the snipey guys at the back of the map try their hand in, yeah, there we go. That's kill number 2. Pensacola, that I've been asking them to shoot at for ages, is still kiting away from them, and they couldn't hit it with a nuclear device if they tried. But my torpedoes get their mark, and then there's only one way to embarrass a carrier player, isn't it? And that's to get like right up beside them and send them back to port. But this is where it all goes horribly wrong. I'm onto that Dunkirk, and what I do want to say is a big shout out to F Links in this one, because he was in the game. He's a long time subscriber to the channel, and we did have a laugh on comms while we were playing. But just as I'm trying to finish that guy off, the California sneaks in the kill, which means there's one ship left in the game, which is the New Mexico. We have got double fires on them. The torpedoes are running. I want this for the Kraken. I know that it's going to be a new record for myself, and we are wailing on this guy, but no, the Dunkirk at the back picks up the kill with a full salvo. But we finish on 119, just under 120,000 damage with a high caliber and a dev strike. 4 kills, 11 cap resets there, and the only thing we hit with torpedoes, I think, was one on the Pensacola and a couple on the carrier. But 3,317 base XP, 1,000 above second place. And if you think that was a big one, wait until you see this next one. Here we go. We're here on Ring, it's domination, and caps means king. Thankfully, we haven't got a carrier in this game. We've got a division with a Texas and a Tennessee, but it looks like there's some pretty low-level players in here with fairly, I don't want to call them noob badges, but let's just say perhaps they haven't been in the game long enough to acquire anything more than the basic badges. And as caps are king, obviously I'm going to head for my cap, and as I said, that last game was a big one. 1,000 base XP above a second place, narrowly missing out on a Kraken with 2 kills taken away by the battleships towards the end of the target's life, which greatly disappointed me. And I thought this boat is fun to play. I am going to take it out again, but what I don't want to be doing is to be running out in front of 1, 2, 3 battleships, 4. There's a cruiser there. There's potentially another one coming in. It looks like we have got the hard push out here. Now, even though we dropped sight for that New York for a moment, we're going to put our torpedoes across, because it looks like he is tracking broadside. I'm on the cap. I'm wary that a destroyer may come round looking for me, so I'm just trying to keep my head on a swivel and make good my position, ready to escape from this cap should red team decide to try and push it. There's the Ober HE spamming cruiser. For all you battleship guys out there, he should be a priority target. Get him off the map, and then we can focus on the big guys. Destroyers are your friend. He will keep all the big guys spotted, and he can do just as much damage to those ships as you can. Now, the New York obviously picked up some speed as he carried on across that cap, which meant that we didn't land a full spread on him, and the Bayern is going to play a similar game. I'm got the cap in hand. I'm thinking, do I smoke up, fire my guns? And I'm thinking no, because I'm certain that everything on the map will disappear if I do. I don't really feel like I've got a huge amount of support where I am at the moment, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, potentially 6 ships here. Battleship comes charging in from the left hand side of the map. I don't know what he's thinking, but let's just say it was probably the wrong thing, and unfortunately it means that that Bayern is going to start to turn into him a little bit, and that turn is going to slow him down, and so we're not going to get all of our torpedoes on that Bayern, which we probably would have had he kept sailing in a straight line. So thank you very much, Geronimo, for charging straight in there, because there he is across there, a complete wreck in the middle of the capture point, focused down by everything in the game. I don't know what was going through his mind, but the last thing going through his mind was probably 4 salvos of armor piercing rounds from all of Red Team. So that leaves me to take care of this Bayern, because it looks like the cruiser has decided that he is going to get the heck out of Dodge. It's a Pensacola. I'm not surprised. All these battleships can potentially make mincemeat out of him. He certainly has a citadel that is softer than the spot on a newborn baby's head, and I don't want to be hanging around here either, purely because I'm sure there's a destroyer around here. There we go. I fire my guns at the Bayern, get a fire on. I want to distract him, hopefully take a salvo away from the going at the Pensacola. We pop our smoke in a second, because there is the destroyer. It is the T-61. Now I know where he is, but he has just given those 2 battleships behind him plenty of warning of my torpedoes coming towards him, and there's the Aoba still out on the corner of that island, and the California picks up a high caliber, knocking the Pensacola out of the game. That's quite early in the game, so that Cali's certainly been punching some ships hard. Yeah, don't want to be near him, because he does seem to have a very, very good aim. But Britannia and California are pushing through. They are supported by the T-61. The Aoba is behind them as well. So we've accounted for 2 ships on this flank, or rather I've killed 1, somebody else killed 1. But yeah, we pretty much took care of both of them. And we've got 4 more. So I'm on my own now. And I decide that, yeah, I'm going to run away, and by run away I mean kite, because what I'm going to try and do is try and keep things spotted. I can see that they've lost the destroyer on the other side of the map, which is where our team were trying to hard push. And that's a Fubuki. Now there's 5 ships across there. A Fubuki has 3 racks of torpedoes. It appears there's only 1 battleship across there. So between the 4 of them, or 5 of them, they could have probably bum rushed that Fubuki and gotten rid of him and taken that cap. Meanwhile, I've just dealt with that battleship, because they seem to trip over each other. I'm going to now try and drop detection, because you'll notice that I'm firing my guns almost on the limit of concealment, so that I can dip in and out of range and detection for the guys out there. But we've lost a cap there. We're losing D-cap as well. Everybody has run away from D-cap and started coming this way. I don't know whether that's because the Fubuki was there, or because they realised that there were some more ships coming this way and they might be easier to kill than a Fubuki. So I decided I'm going to go hunting the Fubuki and leave them to the T-61, the Aoba, and yeah, it's the California as well. So good luck, chaps, because I'm going in the other direction, and a lot of you are thinking, you're so jack leaving those guys alone. when there's a destroyer coming in behind them. And yes, potentially I am, but I've had not a huge amount of support on that side, and if we don't take care of this Fubuki, there's a chance that we will get pincered, and if we can get hold of a cap, then we can start putting points back in our favour. And going the other way around the map is not the sensible option here. We're going into too much fire, but we can hopefully take care of this Fubuki and get this cap flipped. The traverse on these guns is absolutely awful, and there is a battleship out there on my left side. They're very, very new to the game, and as far as being helpful and useful goes, they were good at distracting people from shooting at me so that I could get about my business, is probably the most polite thing I can say. So now this Fubuki's running. He's still on the cap because we're still contested. We get spotted. There he is. Is he going to fire torpedoes? I try to get my guns on, and this turret traverse is awful, like I said. But there we go. He didn't get any torpedoes off, but the battleship, the Dunkirk, was ready for me. And misses. Thankfully he didn't load high explosive, because that probably would have been the end of me had it connected. But it is now the Dunkirk that is on his own holding this flank. He knows he's got a destroyer around here. Our guys are running headlong into the T-61, and again, the very best of luck to them. I can see that there is a cruiser potentially heading in this direction. Now that T-61 was clever. He wouldn't be hunting the damage of the battleship. He'd go in against the cap and kill the ship that's on there and flip it for points, because they do still have a slight advantage. But I'm going to do something about that with a little bit of help from this battleship behind me, who's going to continue to draw fire from the Dunkirk. The Dunkirk is obviously going to do French battleship things, and he's going to reverse slowly while keeping his guns pointing forward, and completely be oblivious to the fact that he might need to turn at some point because torpedoes could be heading in his direction. He does get a bit of a turn in, and do we land one torpedo there? We get an incapacitation, we get a fire, and the damage is ticking nicely. We pick up a high caliber. His guns are looking this way. Our battleship misses everything again, so we pop a shot just before we disappear behind this island, and thinking that he might have come off cooldown, we pop another shot, and we're going to get back out on those torpedoes. Narrow spread, wide spread, just in case he decides to throw a turn in again, and hopefully we can catch him with something. Now, do I say I potentially was dealing with some inexperienced players here? Well, actually, some of the players in this match were quite experienced with a few thousand hours, but then again there were a few rather inexperienced players, and the fact that I left those 4 battleships across there by them, or 3 battleships and a cruiser I think it was, the T-61 has pretty much accounted for them all. But we get another torpedo, another 2 torpedoes, no, another 3 torpedoes on the Dunkirk with a couple of floods. He'd already had the fires, and that is him gone. And I'm looking at where this cruiser is. He is heading in this direction, and I did not have the greatest faith in this battleship to actually be able to hit a target. And what I was hoping, given that we're around 75 points down, is that they are going to try and push for a kills win or flip this cap, so I may need to contest it. There we go. Ioba's got his head screwed on right. I don't know whether he's got sonar running, but he's well turned out of those torpedoes early, and I'm thinking I need to move back towards that battleship, because there's a chance the destroyer might be trying to run him down, and that would not be good, because I don't think with the time remaining in the game that we would be able to pull that many points back. One of the things to remember when you're in the game is look at what's going on with the caps, keep an eye on the messages that are popping up on the screen. The Aoba decides to run. Now, I don't know if that's because he's a little bit too scared of how close this battleship is getting, or whether the T-61 is getting close to that battleship and he wants to be behind the island with full health so he can come out and try and kill me. So again, we're thinking tactically. He's still the closest, 7.5 kilometers. We fire the guns, we are spotted, but as he dips behind that island, we drop detection, which means that the T-61 is not in line of sight or not within range of us firing our guns. So now we go hunting. Is the cruiser going to come out of there? No, he's not. There's something on decap. And that can only be one person, because the cruiser hasn't made it to decap yet, but he's still the closest. There he is, he's sailing out broadside. Can't get my torpedoes off, can't get a shot in on the guns. Here we go, let's get a cap reset on there. We do get spotted, we're still spotted, but we also pick up the T-61, who thankfully everybody has taken a little bit of health off as their contribution towards the game. We get 3 cap resets on, we lead him a little bit more, we're going to get another salvo over the top there, and that is Kraken 153. But broadside to an Aoba is not where I want to be, and I don't like to finish on an odd number, so I'm thinking, can I tickle him a little bit and put me onto 130,000 damage, so we've got a nice round number to finish on. And yeah, let's give it a go. Can he kill us? Can he kill both of us in the time we've got left? What's he gonna do? Is he going to run? Is he going to turn back into us? I don't know. He could chance his arm and I mistakenly shoot half my torpedoes at the island there. Apologies for the beep from the lady robot in the living room there, but that's about to tell me that my dinner's ready, which doesn't come a moment too soon, because as we click down through 15 seconds on the clock with another couple of cap resets, we are going to do what Dave calls become an island boy, because our rudder just isn't quick enough for this one. And there we go, we are an island boy, but saved by the bell. We don't get killed on the beach, finishing on 130,451 damage. 11 torp hits, we do get the 5 kills, 7 fires, 11 cap resets, 3 solo caps with a high caliber and a Kraken. So we definitely worked for this one. And if you thought the last game was big, there you go. Pretty much 2,000 base XP over second place. I had a good one out there today. So don't forget, smash the like button, leave me a comment, tell me if you've played the Hatsuharu and what your best game is down there in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Don't forget, you can leave a super tip on the video, or you can become a member for the channel for as little as 99p a month. All contributions greatly welcomed. Until next time, take care of yourselves, thank you and goodbye.